Hello and welcome to this week's Q&A. I have a question from someone who's moving through my 28-day Mindbody Retreat, a personal development and self-care practice retreat. And this is a question about one of the mini sessions, which is about attachment and aversion, a Buddhist teaching. So I'll read the question and then I'll speak a bit about attachment and aversion. I have a question for you on the session on attachment and aversion, and it really resonated with me. Upon reflection on the session, I noticed this pattern of behaviour across many aspects of my life. So perhaps I'll pause here. Attachment onto or clinging onto, grasping onto anything, thoughts, possessions, people, ideas, anything at all that you cling to in your mind, in your aspirational mind, and because you believe it's going to give you the most pleasure and the most comfort and the most satisfaction, etc. And aversion is the opposite, avoiding, pushing away anything that's going to create dissatisfaction, displeasure, disappointment, any sort of pain. That we remember, it's all about perception, perceiving that we're going to get something good and perceiving that we're going to get something bad. Attachment and aversion. So she's saying, I noticed this pattern of behaviour across many aspects of my life, particularly in my career, always chasing the next best role, the best position, agency, I work in advertising, etc. Never feeling satisfied with my role and feeling that I can be something bigger and better. This is all attachment. Always looking elsewhere and never feeling content. I see a new role or an opportunity and I jump on it, becoming almost obsessed until I get it. And I build it up in my head, becoming anxious, racing my mind and thoughts that if I'm not successful, that I'm a failure, and then becoming disappointed and self-loathing. If I am successful, which luckily mostly I am in a career sense, the sugar hit wears off. I love that. Attachment this is right at the heart of what attachment does. I find myself in the same thought pattern again. I'm currently in this cycle from a career point of view. However, it does seem to run across close personal relationships, family, possessions, image, etc. What are some further practices I can do to break this pattern of behaviour? As I know, it's not rational when I say it out loud or try and explain it, and it sounds very neurotic, ha ha ha. I have the awareness to know it's not aligned with my values or how I want to be. I just can't seem to break the cycle yet. Thank you so much for this question. It's a fantastic one, and one that I'm sure so many people can relate to. And, if I look back into my history, that is just carbon copy. Always chasing the next big thing, the next thing that's going to increase my happiness, my contentment, my satisfaction, my status, my wealth. Always, always, always chasing that sugar hit. And it can be with food, it can be with alcohol, it can be with anything, attaching on to anything that I believe is going to give me pleasure and comfort. And that can come in the form of status or physical pleasure, psychological, emotional, anything like that at all. Make sense? And I think we can hear, inherent in this is a fear of failure and a fear of not being enough, not being good enough, not using my life to live my potential, which is, something that's said a lot. If we don't really know what our potential is, then we're constantly chasing something. We don't even know what it is. What actually am I trying to attain with my attachment? And I think if you really contemplate that question, you won't really have clarity about it. It's just this elusive kind of feeling that I'm chasing, and it never comes because of attachment aversion. We're always in this, highs and lows. What we're wanting to do is create a more neutral and calmer experience of ups and downs. And so my response in terms of practice is the same themes of the retreat. Awareness of your tendency to attach onto things and avoid. And this is the third teaching, or the third precept is attachment, aversion, and ignorance. Ignorance is when I'm not aware that I'm stuck in this trap of attaching and avoiding. So awareness is the first practice, being aware that you're attaching onto something and you're putting an enormous amount of pressure on this person, object, process, idea, belief, or anything to bring you a lot of happiness, pleasure, and comfort. And I'd love you to also then contemplate, what is it that is there an avoidance inherent in that? What am I trying to not have? And what we're really wanting to do with this awareness of attachment and aversion is to live have a balanced view and be clear about our purpose and meaning and our value, which is, values and visions. How do I want to behave in daily life? What is my purpose, and every day, how am I contributing to my community, my family, myself, my world, the world around me? And that I accept that some of my experience of daily life is going to be pleasurable and comfortable, and some of my experience of daily life is going to be not pleasant and not comfortable, frustration, inconvenience, disappointment, hurt, letdown, all of that. That's all a part of life. We cannot not have that. And this is where attachment aversion is really helpful, just to move through life moment by moment, accepting that this is a lovely and pleasurable experience, and this is a challenging and difficult and uncomfortable experience. So I will leave it there. I hope that helps. We're wanting awareness of your tendency to attach onto something. We're wanting acceptance of your tendency to do that, and then positive action, a clear practice of what you're going to do to kind of neutralize this tendency that you have. And of course, we're always wanting to move towards something, but in this moment right now, I don't want to get fixated on something in the future. That's where I get the emotional turbulence from. Worrying about not succeeding or failing down the track, because I'm not there yet, I'm here. And all that matters is what I do right now. So I'll leave you with that to think about. Thank you very much for that question. And please keep them coming, whether you're moving through the retreat or you're just a person out in the, I was going to say metasphere, but I don't want to say that, just a person, a part of this community. I would love to hear from you. Thank you. See ya.